Sun Tzu's The Art of War is a famous book even today, often finding its way into the realms of business, sports, and personal development. Written over 2,500 years ago, this military guide is still considered a key text on strategy and tactics. Despite being so old, its lessons on planning and strategic thinking continue to affect leaders across different fields. The principles it teaches are timeless and apply to many situations, not just the battlefield.
Sun Tzu, a name almost mythical, was actually born as Sun Wu around 540 BC. But unlike most historical figures, much about his life remains shrouded in mystery. Some even doubt if he was a real person or a mix of several leaders. Lionel Giles, a British museum curator, translated The Art of War in 1910. Giles focused on accuracy, pointing out mistakes in previous translations. He aimed for a version that stayed true to Sun Tzu's original ideas.
Let's move on to discussing the first chapter of The Art of War, which is about laying plans. Here, Sun Tzu talks about evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of both your own forces and the enemy's. It's crucial to know where you stand before engaging in battle. This chapter emphasizes the importance of thinking carefully about the situation and using that information to plan effectively. If you understand who holds the advantage, you can avoid unnecessary conflict and reduce the risk of loss.
One essential element Sun Tzu introduces is the way, a concept that determines military success. The way refers to the moral stance and unity of your people, which is critical in maintaining their support and loyalty. Moreover, Sun Tzu stresses the strategy of concealing one's true state from the enemy. By keeping your opponent in the dark about your strengths and weaknesses, you increase your chances of victory, as they can't accurately predict your moves.
The idea of planning and preparation is echoed throughout this first chapter, underscoring that war is not just about direct conflict, but strategic thinking. By knowing the comparative elements of each side, like discipline and organization, better decisions can be made regarding engagement. Sun Tzu points out that when you have clarity about these components, it allows you to avoid battles that you would likely lose, conserving resources and morale.
Moreover, Sun Tzu's principle of strategy involves learning everything you can about your enemy while remaining a mystery to them. This is about keeping the element of surprise on your side. He advises not just to be aware of your own capabilities, but to also ensure that the enemy remains in the dark about your detailed plans and abilities. This approach is designed to create conditions where your opponent cannot easily counter your actions.
Continuing our journey, let's explore Chapter 2, Waging War. Sun Tzu focuses on efficient use of resources. He emphasizes the need to strike swiftly to minimize cost in terms of both lives and materials. Waging long wars can drain resources and energy, so he advises against letting battles drag on. Instead, making quick, decisive actions can lead to success without exhausting your army or treasury. It's all about careful management and sharp execution.
An interesting aspect here is using the enemy's resources. Sun Tzu suggests that instead of destroying supplies, one should capture and use them. This tactic not only saves resources but also weakens the opponent. By adopting the resources of the enemy, an army can sustain itself while reducing the enemy's strength. This strategic thinking allows for a more efficient use of what is available, ensuring the army stays strong without unnecessary spending.
Another vital point is to avoid attrition. Sun Tzu warns against letting your army become fatigued by prolonged engagements. By planning strategies thoughtfully, fights can be shorter and more impactful. Effective combat isn't about the number of battles fought, but about the quality of victories. It's crucial to make sure each action is deliberate, aimed at minimizing losses while maximizing gains, both in resources and morale.
Indeed, attrition is a silent enemy. It slowly wears down forces, making them vulnerable. Sun Tzu's advice to keep battles short relates to this. The longer the fight, the more supplies dwindle and the more troops may lose heart. Through careful planning and strategy, maintaining momentum is possible. The lesson here is to always be prepared, clear in purpose with each move to avoid unnecessary depletion of supplies or spirits.
Chapter 3, Attack by Stratagem, emphasizes the value of strategy over sheer force. It's fascinating how Sun Tzu suggests adapting your strategy based on the size of your forces compared to the enemy's. For instance, if your forces clearly outnumber theirs, surrounding them is advisable. If you outnumber them significantly, it's wise to attack. These strategies allow a stronger force to maximize their advantages through smart planning, avoiding unnecessary conflict and losses.
The 5 essentials of strategic planning that Sun Tzu discusses are quite integral to any successful approach. First, knowing when to fight is crucial, as is understanding when it's best to hold back. Secondly, how you deploy your army or team is important. They need to be well positioned to maximize their effectiveness. Thirdly, unity among your team or troops is key because a disorganized force will easily crumble. Fourth, being ready for surprises allows you to adapt quickly. Lastly, having a general who is independent in decision-making ensures that actions can be taken swiftly and appropriately, free from unnecessary interference.
Sun Tzu also highlights the importance of truly knowing both your own capabilities and those of your enemy. If you have a deep understanding of both, you are less likely to be caught off guard. This brings us to the famous phrase that if you know yourself and your enemy, you need not fear the outcome of any battle. This wisdom isn't just limited to war, it's a lesson on preparation and understanding your environment.
Yes, that introspection and knowledge can indeed provide a significant edge. The idea is that without this understanding, even a simple task can become complex because you might miss hidden factors. Sun Tzu stresses that being unaware of your own weaknesses and your enemy's strengths can lead to unexpected failures. In any competitive environment, this might mean the difference between success and failure. Sun Tzu's teachings remind us that battles, whether literal or metaphorical, are as much about strategy and preparation as they are about action.
Continuing from the strategic insights we discussed, Chapter 4 delves into tactical dispositions. Sun Tzu introduces the concept of balancing attack and defense, much like the philosophy of yin and yang. He suggests that when you choose to attack, you open yourself up to vulnerabilities. On the other hand, by focusing on defense, you become nearly invulnerable. This balance is key, as it teaches the importance of knowing when to advance and when to hold back. Effective tactics involve creating a situation where you can force the enemy to expose their weaknesses.
Indeed, understanding the balance between offense and defense is crucial. Sun Tzu emphasizes that a successful leader should aim for victory without engaging in battle whenever possible. The goal is to achieve success through skillful strategy, where battles might not even need to take place. Defense makes you strong, and the skillful shifting between attack and defense is what can bring about a truly decisive outcome. It's about making the right moves at the right time, ensuring that every action taken is calculated to avoid unnecessary losses and gain victories through strategic positioning.
Sun Tzu's insights push us to think deeper about how battles are won not just through direct confrontation, but through the artful use of tactics. By creating an environment where the enemy is forced to make mistakes, you are already a step ahead. It involves strategic thinking, planning the moves that can deceive or outwit the opponent, leading them where you want them to go. This approach aligns with the idea of advancing when it benefits you and stalling when the timing isn't in your favor.
Yes, by carefully managing how and when to engage, you can avoid direct conflict and instead find ways to undermine the enemy's efforts without direct confrontation. Sun Tzu advises that the best tactic is to ensure the enemy's plans are disrupted before they can even begin to act upon them. This is a very proactive approach, focusing on attacking the mind and morale of the enemy rather than their bodies. It's an elegant dance where the aim is control, giving you the upper hand without having to commit to a full-scale battle, reiterating that true victory is in avoidance when it leads to preparedness and readiness.
Building on our exploration, Chapter 5, Use of Energy, takes us into the realm of managing forces with insight and ease. Sun Tzu illustrates that handling a great army isn't much different from managing a smaller one. It's all about knowing their purpose and divisions. The idea is to use these parts effectively, pushing them toward areas where they can make the biggest impact. He compares moving an army to the flow of water, adapting and redirecting according to the situation, which maximizes efficiency.
That's a smart analogy. Sun Tzu's focus on direct and indirect methods shows that flexibility in actions is essential. You need to recognize strong and weak points and use them to your advantage. For instance, if there's a weak spot in the enemy's defense, channel your forces there. Alternatively, your actions can be indirect, deceiving the enemy into revealing their weaknesses. Whether it's a straightforward command or a subtle maneuver, the strength of your strategy lies in its adaptability.
Exactly, and Sun Tzu really highlights the essence of strategic movement in battle. By understanding both direct assaults and indirect tactics, he teaches us it's crucial to have a blend of spontaneity and planning. As you navigate through warfare, it's important to choose battles that serve your overall goal and minimize your risks. Using energy wisely means not just attacking blindly, but making sure every move serves a greater purpose, keeping in mind the "do not burn food that you can eat" idea.
Yes, conserving your own resources while strategically using those of others is a vital lesson here. Every action must propel you toward victory with minimal expenditure. If you can exert pressure on the opponent's weak spots without weakening your own position, you're crafting a path for victory. This relentless focus on strategy over brute force forms a significant theme in Sun Tzu's teachings, making each step calculated, each move a piece in a larger game.
After looking at how energy can be used in different ways, the next chapter, called Weak Points and Strong, explains how to create the best possible situation before a battle even begins. Sun Tzu says that success often depends on shaping the conditions around you instead of only reacting to the enemy. A wise general wants every important detail to work in favor of the army. That means choosing the right place, the right moment, and the right approach. Rather than meeting the enemy under equal conditions, the goal is to place them in a difficult position while keeping your own forces comfortable and prepared. The more control you have over the situation before the fighting starts, the greater your chance of success.
One of the clearest examples of this idea is the value of arriving first. If your army reaches the battlefield before the enemy, your soldiers have time to rest, organize themselves, and prepare for what is coming. The opposing army, on the other hand, may arrive tired after a long march and have to fight immediately. That difference in energy can have a major effect on the result. Sun Tzu reminds us that good strategy is often about making the other side work harder than you do. Winning does not always depend on having more soldiers. Sometimes it depends on making sure your soldiers are ready while your opponent is already exhausted.
Another important lesson from this chapter is forcing the enemy into difficult choices. Every army has needs and responsibilities. Soldiers need food, rest, and clear communication. They also have to protect many different positions at the same time. Sun Tzu encourages a general to look for ways to increase that pressure. If the enemy must defend every possible direction, their strength becomes spread across many places. Instead of attacking everywhere, it is often better to focus your full effort on only a few carefully chosen points. This creates a local advantage, even when the total size of both armies may be similar.
For that plan to work, however, secrecy becomes essential. If the enemy already knows where you intend to attack, they can simply move their strongest forces to that location. The advantage disappears before the battle even begins. That is why Sun Tzu repeatedly returns to the importance of keeping plans hidden until the right moment. At the same time, a general should work hard to understand the enemy's position without revealing too much about their own intentions. Information is valuable, but protecting your own information is just as important. In many situations, silence and careful planning can achieve more than open displays of strength.
We hope you've gained new insights into Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Engage with us by sharing your thoughts and ideas on the lessons you found most inspiring. If you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit from Sun Tzu's teachings.